Hello, and welcome to Half a Clue, the year review. What? Because it's a New Year's episode. Well, technically, it's going to be the second by the time this is out, but
yeah.
You know, we're going to talk about the year.
It's a reflection.
We're going to review the year that we had at the movies.
Kinda. I think, like most of our episodes, we're just going to generally, I think, discuss. not rank. Where does 2024 rank amongst all the years?
We don't do that.
Honestly,
name all.
name every year.
Yeah, name every year. How many years can you name?
It was better than I think 2021. Well, when was the last time that we were doing the podcast? Before
there was a lot of bangers that year.
That was probably 2021. Yeah,
2021. No, but there were so many just bad movies that year too.
There was a lot of bangers that year. From what
I mean, you had Black Widow. You had Get Out 2.
Get Out 2 is not a movie.
Okay.
Get Out 2?
That's not a movie.
Or not Get Out 2.
Don't Breathe 2?
Don't Breathe.
That would have been funny, though.
No,
just Get Out 2. Get in.
The one about the old man in the house.
Don't Breathe.
Yeah,
Don't
Don't Breathe
Breathe
2.
Don't Breathe
Yeah, no,
2.
that movie
Sorry.
was
That movie
a
sucked.
mess.
I fucking hate that movie with everything that I am.
Yeah. Anyway, it's no Get Out 2, that's for sure.
It's no Get Out 2.
So yeah,
we're gonna just talk about the movies we've seen, kind of just generally. I thought it's been a pretty good year for movies. I watched a lot of movies in the theater. So, would you like to guide us through this, Ron? Oh, do you have history
Sure.
on the year 2024?
Yeah. So it came right after the year 2023, and right before the year 2025.
I hear that 2025 is supposed to be a banger.
It's allegedly. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know.
I always get disappointed when people say that, though.
Yeah.
Just increasingly more and more disappointed. No, that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna do a general overview. Just like I don't know. I watched more movies this year than I thought I did. I was like, oh, dude, I don't think I've watched any. And then I was looking through it, and I was like, I did. Some I watched in the theater, some I didn't. I watched at home, but we're trying to just discuss movies that actually came out this year.
Yes, that's what we're doing. No movies from last year, from this year.
I have one film that is kind of a weird caveat, but I'll speak about that
We'll
later.
argue about that when we get there.
Okay, like for example, I watched Godzilla -1 for the first time
That
this year.
doesn't count, though. That was a movie from 2023.
I know. I watched
and I
it
saw it with you.
I know.
I saw it with you at the theater. We watched the black and white edition. However,
It was fucking awesome.
that's a 2023
You know
film.
what? I think that if you're watching it in the theater and it was re-released in the theater in like a black and white edition, I think that's perfectly acceptable to talk about.
Boom. Well, I'm
don't
not
know.
going to talk about it, but either way. I appreciate it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're just going to jump
heard
right
from
into
my
it.
lawyer.
Just general thing. So for all of us here, maybe we just talk about the movies that we did see this year. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Blake, do you want to start off?
Sure. I actually have a list that I put away now that it's my turn, of course.
Wow. Okay, Miles, do you have one?
Yeah. So, two of the movies I saw with Blake, and I think that Jason was there for both of them. I don't remember. Longlegs were
No, I did
yeah.
not see Longlegs.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that
You were
was
there too, right?
I didn't see jack shit this year.
Yeah, and then another one was I saw the TV Glow, which we
covered.
We had an
Yeah.
episode, but we haven't
still haven't
released that
released it.
episode.
Oh, right. We haven't released
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. I was like,
Yeah.
we do the movie.
Yeah, and then was that like the only movie we covered this year that was like a 2024
I think so,
release?
yeah.
yeah,
we
I
didn't
think
even
so.
release it.
yeah.
Hilarious.
And then
You were there for Longlegs, right, Ron?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
It was great. There's a lot of things about that movie.
Yeah.
that it was up and downs, I'll say.
yeah,
I think generally I want to
That's
say I
the
liked
Nick
it.
Cage movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't even know he was in it.
the Nick Cage movie that Blake constantly quoted for like 4 months after he watched
That's
it.
true.
I brought my long legs. He doesn't even say it like that.
Yeah.
Just because that's not even the line. He says, "I'm afraid I wore my long legs."
Yeah.
That's it. By the way, that I have a huge love for first scenes in a movie. Like I think it's the most important scene in a movie. The opening scene to Long Legs was a banger. It is
yeah.
such a good first like 10 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
When like Nicolas Cage is like, you never see his face, but he's like pulling up to like the house. Then like the little girl in the house is like observing. And then she like slowly comes out, and he's just like the way they shoot him, where you can't see anything above his like mouth basically until
Yeah.
for a split second the long legs.
Yeah.
Such a good like opening scene.
Great movie. I'll say
not
nah.
a great movie.
I think I could call it a great movie.
I go back and forth. I really do. Because
Yeah.
like part of me is like, oh, it was great, and then I remember like the last like 20 minutes, and I was
So
like, oh,
okay, so I enjoyed it, but I'm still disappointed by it.
that's fair enough.
You know, like it's one of those
Why?
things.
Well, we
I
can-
don't. Yeah, we'll get into
We'll
that.
get
later.
into more
But,
stuff as we go.
So the big one that I watched this year that I really enjoyed was Robot Dreams. Which, if that doesn't win Best Animated Film,
Robot Dream.
yeah, I would be shocked if it at least doesn't get.
I
Nominated.
think that's also technically a movie from like 2022.
What?
I think it was only released in America this year, so I'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let it slide, but I don't know. If it's
I think
gonna-
that's fair to put
It
that on.
it had a wide theatrical release this year in theaters, so
I
mean,
think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not realize that it was originally released in
I
2022.
could be wrong. I think
Okay.
I'm correct.
No, you
2023.
2023. Okay.
Jason. Sorry. Are you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So no, it was very interesting film. Definitely a must watch. I would say. It was very cool. It has no dialogue throughout the film.
Interesting.
Oh, very cool.
So the audio design is incredible. It's scored fantastically. Music and sound design are such a big part of this film, but you don't ever hear anybody speak, which is kind of great because, you know, the characters are anthropomorphic animals, or, you know, we're kind of living in an animalized New York City, and having them not speak kind of allows for that barrier to still exist between, you know,
yeah.
between this world and like our world, and it's not like just a reskinned human society. It's very interesting. Lots of really cool musical sequences. There's one like fourth wall breaking sequence. I don't want to ruin it because you should just watch it.
What's it
great.
called?
Robot Dreams.
Robot Dreams.
Robot Dreams.
Yeah.
Is your favorite movie of the year? I assume.
Well, yeah, favorite movie I've watched that was released this year. Yeah.
Okay. Jason.
Yeah, I saw 3 movies this year.
So which was the best?
From
The
this
best-
year.
The best is Nosferatu. I really enjoyed that movie.
Roger Eggs.
Eggs.
Yes.
Roger Eggs.
Eggman.
Roger Eggs.
Yeah,
Roger
super dope.
Scramble.
Okay.
Kind of what you expect from him. Just very dark, very historically accurate. It's kind of a wild ride. There's a lot of people writhing around on the floor in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially, what's her name? Lily Depp?
Lily Rose Depp, I think.
Lily Rose Depp. She's so good in this movie, but she's a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
She's a crazy person all throughout. And I kind of love it. Yeah, Nicholas Hoult. Willem Dafoe, also a crazy person. Whoever played Knock is fucking nuts.
Oh,
Willem
yeah.
Dafoe wasn't playing Knock.
No.
Who's Willem Dafoe play?
He plays like a doctor. I'm not sure he's in.
The original.
No, I think he's. I think his character is
He's
kind of there.
briefly in it.
Yeah, he's. I think he's the guy who's like studying the microorganisms
Yeah.
and stuff. But they definitely expand more on his character. They give him almost like a Van Helsing type of role, but not quite.
He's like playing the part from Poor Things again, kind of.
Yeah,
Did anybody see Poor Things?
I did not.
Oh, then that joke's not going to land.
Yeah.
That was last year, so
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, I
technically
haven't,
2 years ago.
Oh shit!
I haven't seen Poor Things, but I've got the poster up on my wall, so
It's staring at me.
It's a really good
Emma
poster.
Stone stares at me every time.
It's a
I
good
sit
movie.
there.
Yeah.
We should watch it sometime.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to watching it. It's on my watch list.
So do you have other movies that you watched this year? Do you remember?
I saw Speak No Evil, the
Oh, yeah.
American remake.
Okay.
Right? That's what it's
Yeah,
called?
yeah. Speak No Evil.
You saw that with me.
I did.
James McAvoy really carries that movie.
Yeah, he's really good.
He puts on a fucking just creepy, fucked up performance.
The husband in that movie is like the most ineffective character
Yeah, not
of all
James
time.
McAvoy.
Not James McAvoy,
The-
but the husband that like is playing victim to James McAvoy's antics. Which it's on purpose. It's actually kind of funny. I liked that detail that throughout the whole movie, the husband just like can't do anything right. Like James McAvoy beats him at every turn. And then even at the end, they build up that big scene where minor spoilers for this movie. I don't think people really care that much. at the very end, they have all that buildup for him to like light the car on fire, and then he still fucks that up.
Yep. Yeah, he does nothing the whole movie. He's awful.
It's
Just,
really funny though. And that was definitely purposeful that he just sucks.
Yeah. I will say, I thought the first 2 acts of this movie were much better than the third. The third act just kind of devolves into a really bland slasher film. But the first 2, there's a lot of like really great tension made specifically by James McAvoy. And then all that goes out the window, and it's just kind of a boring end to the movie, in my opinion. I'd still recommend it just for his performance. He's great.
We saw it in theaters because we were in that vibe, like we got to see a movie, and it was perfect for that.
Yeah.
So that one, and I saw the TV Glow, right?
Well, no, I saw, I guess, 4. I saw Civil War.
Oh, shit. I forgot the movie came out this year.
Yeah. I liked it. Apparently, I'm a big dumb idiot for liking this movie, according to a lot of people.
I've heard a lot of
still
people
never
like
seen
it
it.
or defend it at least.
I think it's just I don't know, really well executed war film. It's very visceral, really raw. I will admit the characters make a lot of really stupid decisions that kind of take you out of the movie, but I don't know. It was fun. I mean, not fun. That movie's kind of like a miserable experience, but I enjoyed the experience of watching it, I guess.
Yeah.
I still want to see
I
it.
feel like sometimes they give up realism in lieu of kind of creating plot development.
Yeah,
You know?
that's definitely what this movie does. But also, you're just like sitting there, like, "What the fuck are you doing, you moron?"
Yeah.
But whatever. I liked it. I thought it really well shot. It's a beautiful film.
Standout movie for you, Ronald?
Well, I'm just going to go through the ones that I have seen this year.
You're just gonna name all of them?
Yes, yeah.
All right, I'll
I mean,
do
I'm
my
going to keep
list.
them brief because we're going to, I guess, dissect them more a little bit as we go along. But Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Inside Out 2, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, Long Legs, Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, I Saw the TV Glow, The Wild Robot, Hundreds of Beavers, Alien Romulus, and Kung Fu Panda 4. So...
Lots of sequels there.
Yeah, there's a lot of sequels. I didn't even, I kind of realized it. Most of those I saw in the theaters. The only ones I didn't see in theater were I Saw TV Glow, Wild Robot, Hundreds of Beavers, Alien Romulus. The rest I saw in the movie theater. And most of them really cool. Lots of like strong visuals and stuff throughout. I feel like cinematography is really kind of hitting a lot of its stride with some exceptions that I guess we can talk about later. But yeah, I think my top 3 movies of the year for me were Dune Part 2, Alien Romulus, and Hundreds of Beavers.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
Hundreds of Beavers. I hadn't heard of this movie.
So I want to get into it more later.
Okay, we can.
But it's a surprise. I watched it
Okay.
actually this week, because I was kind of prepping for
Yeah.
this, and I was like, and I was just looking up movies people that really liked, or movies that people liked or whatever. And Hundreds of Beavers is the one that I'm kind of cheating because technically it was made or kind of released in like film festivals in 2022, but it didn't get like a wide release until this year, and that's when most people saw it. And it's for free on YouTube. Like you can go watch
Oh.
it. It's an extremely low budget movie. So I'll get into it. It's extremely unique, and I'll talk about it later. But I really like that one.
I'm going to be watching that movie this weekend. My friend's coming
yeah.
over and he wants to watch it. So
Nice.
I'm excited. I've heard really good things.
Alien Romulus. I also watched that one recently, and that one's a fucking banger. I don't care what
I can't
anybody
believe
says.
it. I can't believe it. I believe you, but I can't believe
Did
that
Ridley
movie's
Scott
good.
make it?
I didn't watch it in
Ripley
theaters.
Scott.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott produced it. It was directed by Fede Alvarez.
Oh, nice.
He directed that fucking movie we were just talking shit
Yeah,
on.
Don't Breathe.
Don't breathe. Get Out too.
Yeah.
Get Out too. Yeah, Get Out too. Yeah, the first Don't Breathe and was the Evil Dead remakes and stuff. So I didn't want to watch it because I didn't love the Evil Dead remake. I did like Don't Breathe, but I've been really fucking sick of the Alien movies recently.
Yeah.
I've just been so tired of it. So I didn't go to the theater for it, but I kept hearing people that I trust in this aspect anyway that liked it, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And then I did. I watched it and I was like,
You actually really liked
fuck.
it.
I was like, I really liked it. I liked it a lot.
Because you're a normie.
Yeah, I guess so. But so shout out to that movie. So Blake.
Of the 87 movies I watched this year, 16 were from this year.
Wow.
I saw Night Swim. I saw the TV Glow. My old ass. Love Lies Bleeding. Dune Part 2.
I did see Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, yeah, you saw that with
Yeah,
me?
I saw that one. I forgot about that. Yeah, other good movie.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to talk about it in a bit.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2, Madam Web, Monkey Man, Challengers, Abigail, Taro, Furiosa, Long Legs, Maxine, Deadpool and Wolverine, Speak No Evil, and Heretic. Whatever.
Heretic.
Heretic.
I don't do lists. I think lists are dumb. But my favorite movies of the year were definitely I Saw the TV Glow. That's like one of my favorite movies of the last this decade maybe. I really really like that movie. Also worth mentioning is Love Lies Bleeding. That was probably my second favorite movie of the year. I also really liked Monkey Man. Challengers was very good, and it's about stuff that doesn't interest me at all, which is always a good sign. I was like, tennis, love triangles. I don't care about any of this, but it was great. It was a good year, but yeah, definitely I Saw the TV Glow is one of my favorite movies of the decade so far. I really like that movie.
All right. Okay, good setup. It's a lot of variety, I think, in this movie. A lot of movies this year.
This movie.
So,
This movie.
okay, so open question. What films do you guys expect to love but end up being disappointed by? Any movies that you were looking forward to that kind of just didn't live up to it, the hype at all?
Honestly, Longlegs did not live up to the hype for me.
Yeah?
And then also, I saw the TV Glow to a certain extent because, well, I didn't actually watch it in theaters, but Blake had hyped it up so much and
One
kind
of
of
his favorite movies of the decade.
and promoted it so heavily to me that I felt a little bit disappointed just because it was not as good as it's not a bad movie, but it was not the brilliant masterpiece that I was expecting.
Watch it again. I think it actually is a movie that really is beneficial from a second viewing.
I could see that, but it's you hyped it up so much that no matter what happened, I was kind of going to be disappointed. I think, yeah.
Cool. Jason, do you have one?
I don't know.
Of the three movies,
Yeah,
You don't have
dude.
to. You don't have to force one, but if one just did, if they all kind of met your expectations, then it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got pretty much what I wanted out of the three movies I saw. Maybe Speak No Evil was a little bit of a disappointment. I already talked about it, but that third act really kind of put a damper on the movie for me. So that one.
Okay. For me, I'd say I wasn't really expecting to love it, but I was still disappointed by Gladiator 2. I didn't.
That makes sense.
I've already ranted about it a couple times, but I just I don't know. My expectations weren't that high, and they still managed to be below them. And I was like, yeah. I just wanted it to be better than it was. And then a little bit Deadpool and Wolverine. Also one I didn't have super high expectations for, and I did like it. I liked it more as time has gone on. It's been weird. It's kind of grown on me. But yeah, I was a little disappointed. Mostly in terms of the overall story and everything. But I think it's something that I had to kind of accept as I was watching the movie to be okay, this movie is what it is, and I just need to accept it for what it is and find the enjoyment as it's moving along. So just I don't know, it's very different than I guess what I was expecting, I suppose. How about you, Blake?
I don't know. I don't have expectations for anything, so it's hard to answer that.
Okay.
Everything was about what I thought I'd like it at.
Okay. Were any films that well, I guess this doesn't exceeded your expectations? Any movies that you liked more than you expected to?
I think I saw the TV Glow, but that's just because for me that was such a surprise. And it was early. That came out in I want to say February or March. It was early into the year. Yeah, and I just walked out of that theater. I was like, whoa, my mind just got blown.
Nice. For me, it was I didn't watch that movie. I mean, I didn't really hear much about it. I really kind of this year was a little crazy for me, so I didn't have my ear to the ground a lot for a lot of movies. So that movie and Wild Robot really caught me off guard because I saw the trailer, I really wanted to watch it, and then once I actually finally did watch it, it really just kind of surpassed what I was hoping it to be. I thought it was just gonna be kind of pretty, but it was so heartwarming and really, really touching.
Wild Robot?
Yeah, it was a DreamWorks movie. It's about I don't want to give too much away, but I mean the premise is basically just a robot lands in the wild, and it's searching for a purpose, as a robot because it's like, yeah, I'm meant to like help and do things here. And then it kind of has to just survive and adapt while being in the wild. And it's a great
that
movie.
sounds cool.
It's very good and it's gorgeous. And also Hundreds of Beavers because I just saw the poster, I saw the name, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I went into it blind, and I was expecting it to be kind of more of a slapstick. And it took that idea up to 1 million, and I loved it. So yeah, big standout, or that really surprised me, I'll say. You guys have one?
Yeah. Honestly, mine is going to be Robot Dreams. I went into it thinking, oh, this is going to be, kind of a kids film, animated kids film. Just because it had a very kind of cutesy art style, I guess you could say. It was very childlike in the animations, but it surprisingly had an incredibly deep story. And like I said before, the scoring of it was amazing. And it just ended up being this brilliant gem that I was expecting it to be good, but I was not expecting it to be as good as it was.
Nice.
I think I only had high expectations for one movie this year, and that was Nosferatu, because Robert Eggers is one of my favorite directors. So
Roger Eggman.
Yeah. And I think he hit the mark. I think I got what I wanted out of that movie. So, no.
Nice.
No.
Okay.
That's how I'll answer that question.
Were there any films that you're excited about that you didn't get to watch this year? Any movies?
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I still haven't
Furiosa.
seen that.
Yeah, and also now millions of beavers or hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds of beavers.
Hundreds of beavers. Yeah, you kind of just got me excited for that now that I've heard about that movie.
I had a couple. I really wanted to watch Megalopolis because
Oh
yeah.
I forgot that came out this year too.
Dude, I was this close to watching it when I was sick last week just because I wanted to fucking talk about that movie, but I didn't.
Nobody liked it.
No, I know, and that makes me really want to watch it even
It
more.
just looks so fucking awkward and weird.
Yeah, I've heard people say it's like a perfume commercial or that it's like so like over the top artsy like garbage or whatever, and I'm just like, that sounds very
Interesting at
enjoyable.
the very least. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so many like stars in it. It's Francis Ford Coppola, so there's got to be something, I've been really wanting to watch that one. I didn't get to. Another one was The Substance. I've heard a
I
lot
still
of
didn't
hype
get to
around
watch
that.
it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people really excited about it. Some people that didn't like it, but it seems interesting. And Late Night with the Devil. I wanted to watch it.
2023.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure it got a re-release this year.
Oh.
Because I think it had like a kind of a short release window originally.
Interesting. But that was one that I did want to see. I heard a lot of people talking about. I think you,
It was good.
you talked
I liked
about
it.
So I'm like, okay. Do you guys have an unexpected film that you enjoyed this year?
Not really. I went into the movies that I was going to watch and I was like kind of figuring I would enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
At least to a certain extent. So I was not totally shocked that I enjoyed the films that I did watch.
I enjoyed Madam Web a lot more than I thought I would, but like not for the right reasons. I thought it was really.
Was that this year?
That was last year
That was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
or this year, whatever. 2024.
Yeah.
It was very funny. Did anybody else watch that by any chance?
I did not.
We should watch it. It would be a good time.
I watched, for me, I'd say Wicked. I went into it, I was like, I think it'd be all right. And then actually the music and the performances and a lot of the like the set design and costuming really just kind of
Comes at the small cost of you watching Wicked.
no, it was very enjoyable. I liked it. Everything until I'll say my biggest issue with the movie is the finale. I guess I can get more into that later, but basically just I feel like there was a lot of buildup to something that they know the audience is expecting, and then they just like they kind of overdid it. Yeah, a lot like Long Legs actually, where it's like
like Dune.
Yeah, fuck no, Dune Part 2. Because I was gonna say that's my next thing. What would you think would be the most lasting impact from this year?
Oh, you can't be serious. Dune Part 2, really?
Oh, Dune Part 2's the shit, dude. That movie's
I thought
incredible.
I don't even like Dune Part 1, but Dune Part 2 was pretty good.
It was fucking awesome. Did you watch it? I didn't hear it in your list.
No, I
that's
didn't watch it.
You can't judge, man.
I'm judging it.
you not like Denis Villeneuve? Is that
Yeah,
the deal?
I only watched Dennis Villeneuve's films on a plane, like 3 rows in front of me, without any sound.
Most of them are pretty good. Like
Yeah,
Seen
Sicario.
Prisoners. Yeah,
Prisoner's
Sicario.
great.
Enemy.
Enemy.
Sicario's good. Enemy is good. Okay.
Prisoner.
Yeah.
Prisoners is like fucking
Arrival?
awesome. That's an underrated one. No one
Arrival's
talks about
overrated.
Prisoners.
Yeah, but when you get
Rival's
when you get
It's
into
overrated.
his stuff like
Jason agrees with me.
Blade Runner 2049, that was him,
Oh,
right?
dude,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a great
Not very
movie.
good. What?
Get the fuck out of here. That's
I
another
agree
good
with you,
movie.
Miles.
No, that's a trash movie.
That
Get the fuck
movie's
outta here.
fucking
It's-
amazing.
It's
No.
better than the original Blade
No,
Runner.
it's not.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
absolutely is
I
not.
will die on this hill. It is not.
I'll die on this hill. It is.
I don't know if I could say it's better, but I would say it's
It's a
very least it's
fantastic
on
movie.
par.
But
yeah,
I
and
don't
it's
know.
Fantastic.
Blade Runner 2049, Dune Part 1, like they both had that same issue where I'm like, no, I just don't like this. I
They're
don't
a little
like his
too big
style
for
for
your
this.
taste?
Yeah, well, no, they're big in the wrong ways.
We'll put on the Teletubbies for you. Don't worry.
Okay, no, it's he builds a big expansive universe that has nothing in it. It's empty. It's devoid of any meaning in any
Well,
like
in Blade
care.
Runner
It's not even-
2049, it's empty on purpose. It kind of has like that
Yeah,
lonely noir
so it is with
feeling.
Dune. No, but like his emptiness is not a beautiful emptiness or even a dirty or grungy emptiness. It's just emptiness. I don't like it.
I disagree. I feel like Dune and Blade Runner both have like very like vibrant worlds.
Yeah.
that are,
No.
I think I
teeming
like
with
Dune.
a lot of energy.
I like Dune more than Blade Runner 2049. But I will say my biggest issue with Dune is it's half a movie. The first
Yeah.
part of Dune is
Yeah.
just like it just kind of fucking ends, and that really annoyed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to mention a movie that I finally got around to watching, Oppenheimer.
That's from
Oh, okay.
2023.
Yeah, I know. I know it
sir.
is, but I never watched it. But I finally got a chance to watch it this year because I was on a plane. I also do
name
the
is-
same thing with Christopher Nolan movies where I have to
Just
watch
try
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
His
you're like,
name is
let me make sure I
Einstein."
enjoy it as little as possible.
Yeah, I find somebody who's like 3 rows in front of me that's
Let
watching
me-
it on their screen.
Wait,
Let me
really
strip
quick.
away all the intention and everything.
Exactly.
Oppenheimer,
Yeah.
Einstein, Albert Einstein.
I don't know any of the lines. I didn't have any audio.
All right, let's go to the next thing. Well, I guess I don't know. I ask you guys now. What movies do you think will have a lasting impact?
Madam Web.
You know what? In a way, probably.
It
right?
might.
They might be like, "Holy shit, this was a
A
mistake."
huge embarrassment.
Well, Craven the Hunter is the one that's like
That's the
getting
last
credit
one.
for like killing this thing Sony's doing.
Yeah, I would still give it a Madam Web because like
It was like fun. Like
Did you see
it was
Craven?
no, but I think Craven like died on impact because Madam Web had already like just lowered the floors.
Well,
much as
Madam Web
possible.
was a way better time because like it was really getting memed on when it came out because
Yeah.
of that. What's the line from the trailer? She got attacked when my mom was in Africa studying spiders.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like already like quoting that line. The fact that I don't know, there was just so many memes going around when that movie came out, and I think a lot of
Yeah,
people
that trailer was
that was
memed
hilarious.
to death.
Bad.
fucking oh my god, you guys have to watch it. I'm telling you, it's
I
so
know people
funny.
who watched it who don't watch superhero movies or anything. They just watched it just
Why?
purely just out of curiosity and
the
like to
memes.
hate
Oh,
watch
okay.
it for the memes. Yeah. And it's just like, and it kind of made me mad when there was like other better movies that were coming out at the time that were getting underappreciated. But it's like, don't like, what the fuck? Like, don't like, but whatever.
I
guess-
remember our friend who works at the movie theater was like mad at me that I was there for that and not because like literally next because we were in like it was like the IMAX screen and there was like 3 people
Ugh,
there.
What a waste.
I know, and there was only like 3 people there. I was one of 3 people in that theater, and my friend was mad because I think like next door they were like just happened to be showing The Lighthouse for some reason, and I was like, yeah, that probably would have been the better.
Oh,
movie.
that deserves an IMAX screen, not fucking Madam Web. Oh God.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but the problem is how many idiots that go to movie theaters are going to go see Madam Web versus going to go see The Lighthouse.
Well, actually, The Lighthouse was like sold out, and there was 3 people in the Madam Web screen. So
So it's
Yeah.
really the studios that paid for those screens. That's like right now. There was I forget what movie I was trying to go see. Oh, I was trying to go see Nosferatu, and I couldn't watch it in IMAX because all the
Red
screens are
One or
sold
whatever?
out to fucking
Mufasa.
No, Mufasa.
Oh,
Disney bought out all the IMAX fucking screens, so like I have to go watch Nosferatu in a regular theater.
fucking
which
mouse.
is
That's so
fine.
stupid.
but it's because it's.
I heard Mufasa's actually like really good.
Fuck
I'm
no.
just
No, it's
kidding.
not. Okay. All right. So next thing, which actor or actress do you think really is like really stood out to you this year? Like a performance that you saw.
Dakota, what's her name in Madam Web?
Oh my God.
What's her name? What's her name? Does anybody remember?
God damn, I can't remember. Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota
I think that's
Johnson.
right.
Was that Kristen Stewart in Love Lies Bleeding?
Yes, she was very good in that
Yeah,
movie.
she was very good in that.
Oh my
yeah.
God, Ed Harris as the villain in that movie was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
like-
like honestly, like I've never seen like a more grotesque looking like old villain. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Love Lives Bleeding in general, that's like a standout acting, like the whole cast, like the Kristen Stewart, the other girl, and Ed Harris all totally like kill that role.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Justice Smith from I Saw the TV Glow.
Very good.
Probably my favorite performance this year.
I think I liked the girl in that more though. She was from Atypical. You know what I'm talking about? You know,
She's the sister, right?
yeah, she's the sister in Atypical. She plays Maddie, and I Saw the TV Glow. I thought her performance was great.
Yeah, her like monologue in that like blow up thing.
Yeah, in like the space room.
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Oh yeah.
that's such a good scene.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favorite monologues because it goes on for so long. The music is so intense. It's like she's so emotional, but then she ends it with and I was me again. And it was season 6. Like the way she just says that is so great.
Bridget Lundy Payne. That sounds
Bridget
right.
Lundy Payne.
Yeah, she was great.
Good
Yeah.
job,
Yeah,
Bridget.
fantastic.
I hope you're listening. We loved your performance.
I don't know. Austin Butler, Dune Part 2.
Oh, yeah, he was very
He
good.
stole the show in that one.
He did.
It was fucking awesome.
I wish he had more screen time, actually. That's like one of my only complaints about Dune Part 2 is that I wanted more of him. And I think we could have. Like, I think they
maybe.
kind of.
They could have maybe squeezed him into the first one.
Yeah.
But it does kind of make his appearance in Part 2 like pretty impactful when he shows up and it's like, who the fuck's this guy? Like,
Put him right here, Atreides.
he's lying.
You fought well.
So
Cousin, really?
so since we're on stuff about characters, what did you guys think of Nicolas Cage in Long Legs?
He was
Because
great.
I
Oh,
know
that's also
was
kind of a
very
standout.
well, it was a very polarizing performance. I've heard from a lot of people that thought that it was over the top and just weird, but then other people were like, "Yeah, it's a brilliant performance."
Dude, I mean, that's kind of Nicolas Cage in a nutshell.
Yeah.
yeah.
Over the top and weird and brilliant.
I like him.
But usually you get him in separate films, not in the
That's
same
true,
film
that's
at the same
true.
time. Yeah.
I like him. I think the problem with Longlegs is I think like you said, it didn't live up to the hype because the hype for that movie was pretty crazy. Like people were like losing their minds when this movie was coming out. And I think part of the problem is too was that Nicolas Cage wasn't the villain I think a lot of people were expecting going into this movie. A lot of people thought this was going to be like a Silence of the Lambs type thing, and he was going to be like this mastermind, and then instead he's just like a weirdo, like he's just like a super weird, like plastic surgery deformed, like but like really
Singing
that's
and
because Nicolas Cage said he played that role, like his headcanon is that the Longlegs guy was like in like a rock band like 20 years ago that was super popular, and now he's like just like some loser. Like that's like that's how he said how he like chose to play that role. And I think it shows if you like relook at the
Yeah.
movie in that context, it's more interesting. So I think it's a great performance. It's just a really like bizarre performance too. But yeah, that's Nicolas Cage,
It's funny
right?
because I remember watching it, and the only reason I went, well, I mean, I'd heard kind of a little bit behind it. People were saying that it was like Silence of the Lambs, and I was like, okay. And I saw the poster, and that was it. Like I didn't know anything else going into it. I didn't know Nick Cage was in it. I didn't know anything else, so it was a surprise. A lot of it was so like I not having those expectations. I think maybe made it easier to just enjoy it for what it was. Because yeah, I didn't have any of the hype. You guys just said you were going, and I was like, sure, I'll go, and it was super fun. Yeah, it's just again the only problem is like the ending. I think it's like where they again overplay a lot of the stuff that they'd built up, and a lot of the kind of subtlety that was kind of peppered a little bit just became less and less subtle. And I was like,
Yeah.
Well, I don't like the over-explaining thing. It's such a bonkers third act that I think I just like it anyways because it's so Like I remember like when that movie like ended, I was like, what? Like it's such a over the top weird plot. Like the route they take in that movie is so bizarre that I can't help but not like it, you know.
The way you guys are talking about this, it reminds me of how I felt about Barbarian from last year.
It reminds me
I
a
like
lot.
it more than I
Was
like
that last year?
Barbarian.
It reminds me a lot of
Interesting.
Barbarian, but I actually think I liked Barbarian for the most part. I think if I had to take it complete film, then I did like Long Legs. There's a lot of sequences and stuff I liked in Long Legs.
The
maybe
filmmaking
more.
also we haven't even talked about is like
Yeah.
in
Oh,
that
we can
movie.
get- we can
yeah,
get to it
okay.
later.
Because
But-
man, that movie is fucking.
Right now, we're trying to stick
yeah.
to performances. So yeah, I was gonna say underappreciated or overlooked performances from this year. Things that's like maybe people aren't talking about a lot about.
Dakota Johnson from Madam Web. I think I think everybody that has died down talking about Love Lies Bleeding. I think more people should be talking about Kristen Stewart and Ed Harris and God, what's the other actress's name? She needs to be shouted out to.
Yeah, the main character of the film.
I was gonna say like funny enough, Chris Hemsworth in Furiosa.
Oh, he's the best part of that movie.
Yeah, he's so fun. It's really like I don't think we've really seen him play an villain too much. Like it's been very sparingly.
Katie O'Brien is the other actress. In case anybody,
Oh, she's great in fucking Star Wars, by the way.
she's in Star Wars.
Yeah, she's
Which
in.
one?
I think she's in. I think she was technically in Mandalorian, or no, it was technically Boba Fett, but they do a
Mandalorian
Mandalorian
sucks.
episode of it. No, but it's fucked up because her thing is so like feels so separate and distinct from everything else that it really feels like it didn't belong in that series like at all, and it was fucking crazy. It was awesome. I don't want to. It's like it's just I don't know, but it's a whole other thing. But yeah, no, Chris Hemsworth, he really stole the show, and yeah, he's super fun in that.
Now I become Dark Dementus.
I'm not saying he deserves like rewards exactly, but I think it was a really fun performance.
They also wrote him really well.
Yeah.
I like how, because obviously that movie takes place in basically two separate time eras for the main character, the titular character.
Yeah.
I like how he's vastly different in both of them. It is a really good performance.
Takes
as
a lot of time.
Dr. Dementus.
I'll shout out Kristen Dunst, only because I haven't seen her in a lot of things recently. And she went into Civil War, and I think she, despite how little I liked every character in that movie, I think she put on a really good performance. Yeah, everyone's really good in that movie. It's just no one's like a good person. So it's hard to
Yeah.
like them. But she's really good in it.
Those can be much more challenging roles, really. It's like when you're not exactly, the audience is not on your side or
Yeah.
sympathetic to you at all. What you, Miles? You got anything?
Not really, actually. I'll agree about the Love Lies Bleeding, but yeah.
Okay, let's go into the visuals, I guess. There's the actual crafting of the filmmaking. Most visually stunning film you watched in 2024.
Nosferatu, hands down. That movie is fucking incredible looking.
It is gorgeous.
I love the natural lighting. That's something he does all the time.
yeah.
And it's just so fucking pretty.
It felt almost like in a way, like a spiritual sequel to The Witch.
Yeah.
I feel like if you watch The Witch and you're waiting
Interesting.
for like a film that's like, what's another movie he made? That's go watch Nosferatu.
Yeah,
And
it delves into like a bunch of satanic shit as well. It's
possession.
yes, it
and,
is.
like haunting. Like yeah.
And like when he goes to that like town, that like rural town, yeah, I felt like I was right back in like the beginning of The Witch, where it's just like it just feels so fucking lived in. I don't know how he does that. He makes these historical films that just feel so fucking real.
Unexpected mustache of the year for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about what you guys. Movies that visually just really kind of took you away. This
I gotta bring up Robot Dreams again. Yeah, it's an animated film.
Yeah,
but-
sorry guys. We don't watch a lot of new movies.
No, but it was a visually stunning movie, and I mean, I mentioned
it sounds
that
like
before.
it.
Yeah. I tried to get you guys to watch it, but no
Was
one,
it,
no one wanted to.
How about like I guess artistically, like you said, it's animation, right?
Yeah.
So how was what would you compare animation wise to like its style?
So it's a 2D animated film, right?
Okay.
Is it hand drawn or is it CG?
So it's CG, I believe. It looks CG. It very much like the style of like Futurama a little bit.
Okay.
Right. Kind of that same. It's very similar to that. It's hard to say because again, all the characters are animals, so the style does feel a little bit more unique. Yeah, but one of the most visually stunning parts of it are just like the different sequences that happen that are dream-esque sequences in the movie, because robot dreams.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
It's a poster for
I'm
reference.
looking at it. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, it does. I wonder where this was. This on Netflix? I feel like I saw this on Netflix or something.
I think we watched it. I watched it on Blu-ray.
I like how it does have a unique style to it.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly whoever animated it like had a they have a kind of like a voice to it, Because
definitely.
I'll say there's like a shift I've seen in a lot of animation lately, thanks to Into the Spider-Verse and everything that's kind of really brought this like kind of sketchbooky kind of style that's been really prevalent from like the Ninja Turtles movie that came out.
I heard was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I
So
think I
this
actually watched the movie
this was
year
a
too,
very
but-
clean style that
Yeah.
they had for this one. The one style of animation that I absolutely hate, I'm gonna call it the Adult Swim original style of animation, right? Or like the stuff like Squidbillies, and then you've got like Super Jail, like
very rough.
the rough looking, just kind of grimy like animation. I really don't like that style, and I feel like that's become a lot more prevalent in adult animation recently. And it's
I heard someone say recently how adult animation doesn't have to be ugly, because
Yeah.
that's like a big thing. Is that like if you look at all of the major adult sitcom animation,
like
ones,
Smiling Friends too.
yeah,
And,
the fucking God, that one show, is it Big something? I don't know, but like all of them
Big
have
Mouth?
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. Yeah, it's like all of them just have such fucking ugly and weird, awkward looking character
Yeah, it's like
designs.
that. What's that YouTuber? Fucking
Psychic Pebbles?
Meat Canyon.
Oh yeah, Meat Crayon.
Meat
Canyon.
Crayon.
Meat Crayon.
Meat-
Yeah.
no,
one
it's,
of those.
it's Meat Canyon.
Meat
Meat
Canyon.
Canyon.
Yeah.
But like, I like it in his videos because like that's the point. He's being very satirical and, but there is a lot of that. Like Big Mouth is a good example of like why is everything ugly and stupid.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's shows like another thing that came out this year was X-Men 94 or 97, and it was like fucking gorgeous. Like the best American animation like cartoon, I guess like a series that I've seen since I don't know when. Like film-wise, yes, we have really strong ones like you said, I think Wild Robot, fucking gorgeous movie. It has a lot of those like thing where it's like layered things in the back look like less detailed than things in the front, and it's just so good. But yeah, sorry to circle it back on track here. Blake, sorry, any movies visually that like really blew you away this
Sorry,
year?
everyone. I saw the TV glowing.
I mean, that's
that
a
movie
very good
is
looking
visually.
movie.
Yeah, that
Like
it's got good visuals.
It's got that like real dreamy vibe
Yeah.
to it, which also directly contrasts the fact that the movie feels like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So it's like also looks good for a purpose. I do want to talk a little bit about Long Legs though, because we were going to get into the visuals of that movie. That movie's visually stunning as well. There's so many of those like super symmetrical shots. There's like always in that movie, there was always something going on like in the background. That was like one of those movies, kind of reminds me of like Hereditary, where you want to keep your eyes like all the way open.
Yeah.
There's like in every shot almost, there was something like
Yes.
going on.
That was one of the things I really loved about that movie. It was in the background, and there was like little subtle moments where it just kind of it hints at the horror and it adds to the creepiness. And then later it becomes no longer hinting; they're just smacking you or something. So it's like, okay,
But I really did like that aspect of the movie. It always felt like you as the audience member were like being watched. Like it was very creepy.
Dune obviously I think is probably the most visually stunning movie this year. But ones that I don't think aren't talked about are Alien Romulus again, just because that movie it takes place in space, and it
What?
weirdly
What?
enough it feels like the first Alien movie that is like really wants to push it to be like, hey, look, this movie's in space. Like space can be very beautiful and dark and haunting and alienating, obviously. But like
Alienating.
But I thought,
alienating.
so
But
is
most-
this a Star Trek spinoff then?
yeah, it's funny enough.
It's the final frontier.
Yeah.
Funny enough, there are some visuals that did remind me a bit of Star Trek.
I
But,
mean,
like there's-
Romulans, just saying.
I mean, I think they definitely get some. It's weirdly enough, watching this one, I feel the other sci-fi influences from Star Wars to a little bit of Star Trek to like. There's kind of that.
Any Stargate?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. I've never watched Stargate. I can't say.
Of course you haven't.
But
Miles
there's
is the
a,
only person who has ever watched Stargate.
In the entire universe,
Yeah.
apparently.
Because
the majority of this film takes place on an abandoned space station that is orbiting a planet with rings, and the basically the ticking clock is that this the space station is going to crash into that ring, like basically the asteroid belt that's spinning around it, and it's a very visually stunning, like ice, like little meteors filled asteroid belt, and it's just a lot of really good visual details and a lot of practical and like some CG elements that some of them can't be helped, obviously, but a lot of it you can tell they really tried to make it as practical as possible. Like
Yeah, they aren't actually going to go film in space, so you do kind of need some CGI.
yeah. And for the most part, some of them it was distracting here and there, but for the most part, all of the use of practical like creature designs and stuff was what really I think helped put it over the top for me. So
Right on. You're convincing me to watch this because I swore off alien movies.
maybe that's a bad thing because I'm not. You should lower your expectations.
Yeah.
And just
Okay.
be excited.
I'm too excited for Alien on this.
Okay, and last one, at least for this, any films that felt unique in terms of storytelling or style.
I'm going to say I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah.
Because even though I didn't really like it, like a lot, I thought that it was probably one of the most unique films that I have seen in a long time. It definitely took a lot of chances. Some of them paid off, some of them didn't. But visually, like Blake said, it was great. And then also just the way that they structured the story, it wasn't super predictable where it was going with it throughout the whole film.
I had no idea where it was going, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was going to lead with like I guess not necessarily a showdown, but like something where they're going to like go with the moon guy or something. And then it just, I guess, spoiler, but
Yeah.
it
Can I go back
doesn't.
to a previous question in a bit?
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
What movie was better than I thought it would be or something? Not by a lot, but you know what movie I thought I was going to hate because I saw the trailer 8 million times and hated the fucking trailer? Abigail.
Oh.
Because I remember even complaining to you because we were going to the movies a lot early in the year, and it seemed like every fucking movie we saw had that stupid, awful Abigail trailer.
I don't
really
even know what
did.
this is.
It's
What is
like
Abigail?
It's about like a little girl vampire.
Oh, okay.
They played that trailer to death.
They did, dude. And like I fucking hated that trailer. And a friend really wanted to see the movie for their birthday, and I was like, okay, fine. And it was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. It wasn't like amazing, but it was a really fun time. Yeah, it's a movie about like 9 criminals or something all go to like abduct a little girl, but then that little girl turns out to be a fucking vampire. So
I mean, it was from the directors of Ready or Not and the Scream and Scream
the
6.
yeah.
Which, so I was like, I bet it's better than the trailer makes it look.
What was the last line of that trailer? It's the guy going like, I hate ballet.
Or something like
Something
that. Yeah.
stupid like that. Dude, the main like guy in that movie was really like fun. Yeah,
Dan Stevens?
I think it's, let me see.
Yeah, Dan Stevens, by the way.
Yeah, he's like the best part of this movie. Does anybody care about spoilers for Abigail?
Nope.
All right, you've been warned, audience. In the third act of that movie, because he's like kind of like his whole thing is he's like a cop with like a dark background and he did some bad things. And you're like, oh, is he going to have his redemption arc? No, he goes all the way in and becomes like the main villain of the movie. He becomes like the most evil vampire ever. And he just looks like he's like his eyes are like pulsating and like blood is like dripping down his mouth. And he's like, I don't know. I loved how they like executed that. It was a lot of fun.
That's great.
And I like that he also becomes the main villain. It's kind of like a twist at the end almost.
Yeah, shout out to Stan Stevens. Go watch what was that X-Men show? That was on FX, I forget. But it was good.
Legion.
Legion, yes, Legion. Underrated. Okay, any movies that had like thought-provoking or emotionally powerful endings?
You know what my answer is?
I mean, for me, yes. It was I'll say Wild Robot just cuz I keep going back to that one. It's a very touching movie. It's probably the movie that elicited the most emotional response from me. I happened to be watching it and I was just like, ugh, like drying my eyes like through most of it. It was just a very touching movie. I get a lot of like Iron Giant vibes from it too. So there's like, I was like, damn it. Like they just know how to like touch you with all the feels.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was with Robot Dreams, where it was like at the end, it was a very melancholic ending. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all know what my answer is going to be. I Saw the TV Glow had a very emotionally impactful ending.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
That last like 30 minutes of that movie,
It's horrifying.
is-
It's fucking
dude.
horrifying.
Yeah, that it was like the best horror movie of the year in my opinion because that was terrifying. The last fucking like 20 minutes of that
It's
movie.
pure existential dread.
When he's working at the Chuck E. Cheese like place at the
Oh
end.
god,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm dying. I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I do not feel okay right now.
Yeah, and it definitely sticks with you. Like it's haunting in that way. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
oh,
We still
shit.
quote that movie.
Yeah,
to
we
this
do.
day.
The big old pig.
Oh, the pickle pick. That fucking ending stays with you, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
that was one of those movies, which I personally like, that kind of ruins like the rest of your week. Like,
Yeah.
because it's just like you can't like stop thinking about how miserable it is. Because that for me was a powerful ending. The bad ending, the dark, devastating ending. And that's also, I think you're onto something. Justice Smith is why it works.
Yeah.
I love that added detail that like when he's an adult, his asthma is like so bad, which contrasts like the whole being buried alive theme in the movie. So good.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any? Do you see any shifts or trends like in movies that have been coming out
It's
lately?
above my pay grade.
Any general thoughts, maybe?
They're all awful. They can only put out garbage nowadays. Nothing was like it was in my youth.
Okay. I was gonna say I feel like there's been like a shift towards like horror.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
lot of horror this year.
Yeah.
Like there was Longlegs, Terrifier 3 was really big, Nosferatu, I Saw the TV Glow, Alien Romulus, The Substance, Late Night with the Devil, which I guess was technically last
That's
year.
from
Sorry.
You know,
last year.
But like there's just
Wow.
been like so many, and it's not even just in October or September.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say
all year
like,
long.
It's all year they're releasing horror.
so
Night Swim. I saw that.
I
in
think that that's
January.
because
swim. God damn it,
I saw
Abigail.
that.
That's another one. Yeah.
I think that a lot of that's because of the way that movie theaters have evolved in recent years, and have had to evolve because of the streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, things like that are all putting out their own original content. Where if you're gonna go to a movie theater and you're a normal, average Joe, everyday person, there's three types of movies that you're going to go see. You're going to go see a kid's movie, a horror film, or a big blockbuster action film, right? Those are the three types of movies.
I mean,
really.
there's also like dramas and.
But are you going to go to the movie theaters to go see a drama?
I think like normal people do. Like that's
No,
that's
they
where all the
stay home.
Oscar
No,
like
they-
Beatty movies
No,
are
but they
kind of
stay
for,
home,
right?
but they stay home. They watch those on Netflix and Hulu and Apple TV Plus or whatever, and all these
yeah.
things.
I
And
do have
it's-
the numbers here
Yeah.
if you guys want to talk.
Oh,
see.
I would love to hear the numbers.
Okay, so the top 10 movies of 2024 in terms of domestic and internationally altogether, really.
box office or
Box
total
office.
sales? Okay,
So number 1 movie this year was Inside Out 2,
Interesting.
Yeah. Kids movie,
kids movie. Number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh,
big
sorry.
action blockbuster.
Inside Out, sorry. That Inside Out made $1.6 billion.
Damn,
Shit, dude.
Deadpool and Wolverine, $1.3 billion.
that doesn't surprise me as much.
Yeah.
Despicable Me 4 and everything else under here made less than $1 billion, which
Yeah.
tears. Despicable Me 4, Moana 2, Deadpool Part 2, Wicked.
Wait,
Deadpool,
Deadpool,
Dune
Part 2?
Sorry, Dune Part 2.
Deadpool Part 2.
Dune Part 2, Wicked, Godzilla X Kong, Kung Fu Panda 4, YOLO, which is a Chinese film, and Venom: The Last Dance.
So you're looking at that, and you've got Wicked and YOLO are the two that are kind of outside of this. I don't know.
The rest,
Wicked makes sense to me.
Yeah, Wicked makes sense because that's like, that's a big feature based on an existing property. But so a lot of the stuff is based on existing properties too. I mean, we talked about, wow, there's a lot of sequels on, Ron's list this year. And I think that holds true just because there are so many sequels.
Wicked is the only sequel that is on the top 10. Or sorry, only non-sequel that's in the
I
top
was gonna
10.
say.
Yeah.
All these other ones, and YOLO.
It's
I don't know what the
technically a
fuck YOLO is, to be
prequel,
honest.
though, right?
Yes, I guess yes, it is. Technically, it is a prequel.
Wasn't it a book and then a Broadway play?
Yes, it was a book that was converted into a Broadway play in the early 2000s.
I thought it was
The Wizard of Oz.
no,
was a
I
book
thought the
first, too.
Broadway
Yeah.
play was made from the Wizard of Oz, and then that was converted into a book, and now that book's being made into the movie.
Okay, so from what I understand, the book came out first, which was then converted the book, The Wizard of Oz, and then it was made into a movie, and then there was a non-licensed prequel that was made called Wicked that was made about it.
So a
And then-
fanfic.
basically, yes. And then the Wicked was then turned into a musical, which has now been turned into a movie. But the whole Wizard of Oz property has been like kind of taken, like there have been so many different spin-offs and variations of the Wizard of Oz books and retellings and reimaginings and everything. But the actual movie itself is still owned, copyrighted by MGM. So they still own the copyrights. So that's why Universal made this, and it's not technically a prequel, and it is, but it's more an adaptation of the play and everything, blah blah. But there's like weird little things where they have to like change because technically you can make a thing out of the book, but you can't make it off of the movie,
And you
so
can't
blah, blah,
use
blah,
anything
blah.
that's like part of the movie, even if it's in the book.
Yeah, so there's like
Yeah.
little things like the witch being green, she can't be the same shade of green
Yeah.
that she is, and shit like that. So whatever. But like the point is, yes, technically it is still part of a franchise thing. But these are also the top 10 movies in the world. So like, of course, those are kind of be the draws for like all the different like all the big numbers. And
Really
everything,
quick, because we're on this subject, this is going to sound like it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
yeah.
But you'll see where I'm going with, and this is only going to be relevant now.
What?
In Madam Web, there is a really because I want to talk about this, and this is the last chance.
All right.
They do because you're talking about like the what they can and can't do. I was wondering if Sony wasn't allowed to say a specific thing because in Madam Web, Dakota Johnson, she's like a EMT or a paramedic or something, I forget. Her partner is played by Adam Scott, and his name is Ben, and he's about to be an uncle. That's like a thing throughout the movie, and like he keeps saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a nephew soon," and he's Ben. He's an uncle. You get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
But what's really weird is
He's gonna die.
they make this whole shebang of him like just making it in time to like meet the new baby, and they're like, and we're gonna name the baby, and then it cuts away, and it's like, were they not allowed to say like Peter Parker or something?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
I think that's what it was, because I shit you not, that is a scene in that movie. They like he goes, and we're gonna name the baby, and then it just cuts away. It's like can they not legally say Peter Parker? Because
They
they
probably can't.
They probably can't
I think that is the thing because it's like the way Sony and Disney have a
share
whole
like the
thing.
yeah.
It's a whole thing. Yeesh. Okay, so I mean, so those are the big ones. The highest grossing indie quotes here, like Longlegs, Civil War. Those are movies that are like coming
did pretty
from
well.
Yeah, that did very well in parts of like independent films. Thelma, Late Night with the Devil, Honora. But those are also coming from.
Oh,
like,
I never got to see Honora. I really wanted to.
well, yeah, they're coming from like A24, Neon, like these like smaller studios that have been really, I think they've been really growing these past couple years.
but even then, like A24, I like A24. I am kind of disappointed how strongly it focuses on horror films now.
I think there is a draw for horror lately. I think that's a big thing, right? We're seeing those trends that we're talking about. Like there's a lot of people that are interested in horror, and as a horror fan, I'm very excited because of all those movies that we talked about, like
A lot of them were horror movies this year.
yeah, but they're also such a variety of different kinds of horror films. Longlegs and Alien Romulus are super different. Or I Saw a TV Glow, like all those completely different kinds of horror films.
Well, as a horror hater, I hate it. I just want traditional dramas.
What is that?
Boring. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Like show me Great Expectations or something. I don't know.
Well, how
Yeah.
many of those movies are you going out to see in the movie
None.
theater? Exactly. So
Yeah.
you're not exactly supporting the business here.
I think there's two reasons why. One is horror is fun to watch in a theater.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're probably pumping up horror movies because theaters aren't doing all that great right now. And two, they're cheap to make.
Traditionally, yeah.
I mean, most of them. Some of them are not cheap to make.
Which I think is a thing I'm really also appreciating too, is that they seem like they're willing to invest a little bit more than what was traditionally kind of like a very cheap genre. They're just like, whatever, we just splash some blood and we're good. And it's like, now you put in the effort and you get movies like, I Saw the TV Glow, which are going to fuck with your head for like a lot more. And it's not really, it's not even like, it's not gory. It's not like, it's not like a blood
It's
splatter.
psychological.
I don't know.
That's,
I
that's what I like.
I was super big on like some of the A24 classics, like Lady Bird and Moonlight. And,
I mean, they still
like,
they don't only make horror. I feel like they've been doing horror since their inception.
No, they have, but it seems like it's just.
I think their
more
first movie
and
was.
more
I think the
horror.
first A24 movie was a horror movie. In
Oh
fact.
yeah, no, I mean because they like early on they did like Lighthouse, The Witch, Hereditary, Midsummer.
I mean, look, right now,
Yeah.
Baby Girl's out. That's not a horror movie. That's an A24 movie.
Yeah,
We Live in Time.
Civil War was an A24 movie.
Civil War was A24.
yeah. I do need to
Queer.
see We Live in Time.
I heard that's good.
Yeah.
That's what's his name? The guy who directed the tennis movie. He also directed Call Me by Your Name. Do you
He's
know
like
who I'm
a
talking about?
French name,
What's his
right?
name? Luca something.
Luc Besson.
No, not Luca Besson. Luca something.
Yeah. Oh, The Brutalist is coming out. Oh, dude, I'm looking forward.
I'm
to The Brutalist.
interested in that.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
technically
I
came
guess
out-
the
Wait,
Iron.
who's directing that?
It's the dude.
The guy from Mysterious Skin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name in the
Brady Corbet.
Yeah, I guess the Iron Claw was not a horror movie either.
That was that was from
Yeah.
2023, but that movie was
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I guess I was wrong. Yeah, they have been releasing a lot of films that aren't necessarily.
Did
horror films
they do
recently.
Anora, or is that someone else?
I think that was shit. Who did Anora?
Well, it's Sean Baker, but was that A24?
Maybe I'm just being overexposed to the horror
That's
portions
Neon.
Oh, Neon. Okay.
of Neon and A24 because of all you fools
Yeah.
who seem to like horror for some reason.
Well, okay. So that's this year has been. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? There's obviously the big franchise ones are making tons of money. They're the blockbusters, and that's been something that. Just in the past couple decades, that film has obviously been very reliant on. The studios make $1 billion with fucking Deadpool, and then they can do other shit.
But they don't, though, unfortunately.
Well, I mean that's the thing. I think it's a lot of what we're seeing too. Is that like these big budget, a lot of the big studios are becoming very reliant on those films, and it's bigger bust, right? Like Sony. They've just they lost a bunch of money from Craven and Madam Web, even if people were watching them for the memes. They didn't make that money back.
Yeah.
They're still kind of failures and on both ends of the spectrum, so that sucks. So that it allows them, it's making them do something else. They have to figure something else out.
Well, it's, I would be totally fine with these big studios pumping out all this trash if it meant that they were using it to fund, passion projects or good films or, allow good movies to come out.
I mean, that is kind of how it works.
No, but
Right,
they
Ron?
don't.
I mean,
though.
Disney's
They
not really gonna do
They
that,
aren't doing
right?
it. Yeah, no,
Disney doesn't do
you know,
that.
you've got these big studios, and all that they're pumping out are these big toxic trash films like Dune, like all the MCU
Okay,
stuff.
all right, don't
like
fucking
Star
say
Wars.
Dune. Do not put Dune in that sentence. Okay, so
Jesus, Miles.
I was gonna say Dune is a great example of them actually doing that of putting those money
In your
big
opinion,
budget movies.
in your opinion,
I like
Dune's a pretty good movie. Dune Part
Dune-
2 was really good.
both of them work together so well. It's so fantastic. But that's Warner Brothers property, and Warner Brothers has been struggling for a minute. Okay, so doing well for them obviously is very good because they, a lot, especially the whole superhero genre. It's been struggling. So, okay, so what? I don't know. Any film that you think will resonate, or at least will like be a classic in like 10 years from now? Any movie that you think people will be reflecting upon and be like, oh yeah, this is the one.
Megalopolis.
Man, I hope
Web.
so.
honestly, I don't think really. Even though the films I saw were good films, right? I don't think that any of them reached the level where they're going to be talked about in 5 or 6 years. No, but that's the problem. We're in a very disposable culture nowadays.
I see you like are building up to go on another thing.
What?
Even though I watch good movies, this is such a funny sentence.
No. I said even though the movies I watched this year, I thought they were all
Yeah.
good, right?
It was just the way you phrased it was really funny.
Whatever.
Can I talk about a random movie that doesn't have an answer to this?
Yeah.
I just want to
Okay.
talk
go
about
ahead.
it.
Yes.
Did anybody else see Monkey Man?
No.
I really liked it. But
I wanted to.
I feel like
that was one I wanted
nobody
to watch.
nobody talks about it. Nobody has talked about that movie.
I like Dev Patel.
I love Dev Patel. He directed it and starred in it. It's good. It was a good action movie. I saw it in a Dolby theater, which was nice because it had great sound design.
Nice.
Cool action movie. You say they don't make action movies anymore, Jason, and you're correct. But this was an action movie this year that was good.
I didn't say they don't make.
Oh, you said
action
they
movies.
have to like it has to be like
It's like it
backwards
has to be like
time.
a fucking high concept action movie. They can't just really make, a Die Hard style action movie anymore. And if they do, it's like the Extraction movies that they just release straight to Netflix.
Equalizer.
Monkey Man. You should watch Monkey Man then. I think you'd like it. It's a pretty simple,
I heard a lot of good
straightforward
things,
action movie.
especially when it came out, but yeah, I feel like it's a lot of it's died down as the year has gone on.
We'll see.
It's ended, yeah.
Maybe he'll do a second movie soon, if he's going to keep directing or not.
Okay, and I think lastly, just like any films that like you're looking forward to next year for this year now, 2025.
I don't know.
28 years later.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty dope.
I was like, I don't know anything that's coming out.
I'm so pumped for that movie.
Strangely enough,
Daniel Boyle.
I don't know if it's coming out this year because I don't keep track of these things, but the new Batman film.
I think that's next year.
yeah, it's
I think it might be the
26,
year
I think.
after.
Oh.
I
I
think
read
it's
26.
I read 27 the other day.
Every time I
look
look
it up,
into
it's
it,
like it's another
yeah,
year.
I think
These
it's coming
movies
out.
have the longest like fucking production cycle of any superhero movie ever.
Yeah.
But I will say, I'm looking forward to it. I have started watching The Penguin. I watched The Batman. And
The mother from How I Met Your Mother's in the Penguin.
What about
Yeah.
Paddington in Peru? That's coming out.
Paddington in Peru.
People
damn.
like really ride or die those movies.
Yeah.
I've never seen them.
I'm looking forward to Mickey 17.
The fuck is that?
Oh,
It's the
yeah,
Robert
yeah.
Pattinson, Bong Joon-ho film.
Yeah,
That looks pretty fun. I love the poster.
yeah, it's a very
The
interesting
trailer,
trailer.
looks like
Yeah.
goofy and fun. Not what I would expect.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore 2. you know.
No.
I'm just kidding. I saw like a screenshot of it, and I was just like, just Adam Sandler in that hockey jersey on the field again. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of sad. I don't know. It's whatever.
Not sad for his wallet.
No, that's the thing is
The Minecraft movie.
yeah, every couple of years he'll make a movie and he'll bring all his buddies on. They'll all get paid, and then they just go vacation someplace
Good
while
for
they're
them.
making
They
the
gotta
movie.
figure it out.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. And
The
then
Accountant too? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah,
That's
they're
getting a
doing that.
sequel?
wow.
Did anybody give a fuck about The Accountant 1?
The movie was
No, that was
a very mid movie.
It had a better. It was like it had a
that was the
decent
movie about the
idea.
autistic hitman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It had a really good idea, but like the execution was like.
That was
eh.
back when like fucking Ben Affleck would just release a movie and people would say it was amazing for no reason.
Well, I mean, that
Like,
was like
what-
right after Gone Girl and stuff. So there's a lot of hype.
It was a
around
strange
him.
time in his career where like he could just do anything and people would love it.
I can't believe they're making The Accountant too. What the fuck? And why now? That was like literally 10 years ago, I think. I think that was 2015.
And also the return of Marvel, really, outside of like Deadpool and Wolverine.
No,
I know that we just talked
Why
about
are
it.
you bringing this? No.
Thunderbolts, which is funny because it's as much as I was trying to defend that it's possible they make some good fucking movies every once in a while. I have not been excited for a Marvel movie since probably Guardians 3. So this, I think, is just like, it's a test for them. Are you willing to be able to like do something to make people excited and interested in your movies again, or what? Like, I don't know. We'll see. It's a big make or break year for Marvel because they have been very desperate. Their money has been declining continuously outside of Deadpool and Wolverine for a minute now. So
in order for them to make movies that people care about and are excited for, they would
Elio's
themselves...
coming out next year. No, I was kidding.
It's okay.
Yeah, 20 years later. What is it? Megan 2.0. Jesus.
That's the one about the android girl that ends
doll.
up murdering people, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was actually, I was surprised at the first one. I actually liked it more than, again, I thought it looked kind of dumb. And it was actually pretty
Wasn't
fun.
it called M3 GAN or something?
Yes.
They're making another Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I thought they ended it.
Rebirth.
Oh no.
Coming out on my birthday.
Dexter Resurrections is
Is there-
coming out this year.
Wait, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, Kendrick Lamar comedy?
What?
What the fuck? That sounds interesting. Okay, well, I'm interested in whatever that is. And
Superman.
then Superman, which I'm actually very excited for.
Not a movie, but
Wait.
I'm telling you, Dexter Resurrections is only a few short months away.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Didn't they just remake that?
I don't
or
know.
am I crazy?
I don't know.
I don't think they did. I don't recall them making
I
a
think
remake.
it's just been in the public consciousness for like years at this point.
And a big one, Fantastic Four, which I'm actually looking forward to.
Freakier
Friday.
Oh god.
And an untitled Paul Thomas.
Are you guys
Anderson
excited
movie.
for Dexter Resurrections?
No.
We're not talking about Dexter.
I am
yes, we
excited
are.
for the untitled Paul Thomas Anderson movie though.
Oh, and Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is coming out
Oh,
next
hell
year.
yeah.
Ooh, that
Very
should be
hyped for
good.
that. There's another horror film for you.
Wicked 2.
Is he gonna kind of do the same thing that they did with like Nosferatu? Do you think where is it gonna be kind of similarly done to that, where it's really adapting heavily the old property?
I mean, I think it'll be a Guillermo style story where he probably will draw a lot from like the original source material, but it's still going to be Guillermo's version of it.
Yeah.
I want Roger Egbolt to make a Frankenstein movie.
No, not at this point.
Why?
Because it's like we're already getting one from Guillermo. We don't need
We'll get
another
two.
one.
It's
It's not going
okay.
to be like that year that 4 fucking Pinocchio movies came out all the same year.
Oh yeah, because Guillermo did one, and then there was like 3.
There was a Disney one. There was
Andy
like a
Serkis
Russian
did
one.
didn't he?
Oh yeah.
There was one where Pauly Shore did the voice of Pinocchio.
I remember that
It's
trailer
hilarious.
went viral because it was.
Oh, no,
really
Andy
funny.
Serkis.
Dad, I want to go home. So funny. And a Running Man remake, apparently. Edgar Wright. Wow. Doing a Running Man movie?
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah. Starring, this fucking dude. What's his name? The dude's been like in everything.
I don't know.
Who's that?
The guy he's in Top Gun and fucking Twisters, which we didn't talk about, but that was like the big movie this year. Twisters did like surprisingly well. Well, yeah. All right. The next year. Oh, and obviously Avatar.
Who cares?
Fire and Ash. Another one of the Avatar movies.
Like the animated
No,
TV
the-
show?
No.
Although I think we're probably getting. Will we get the next season of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
They fucking
This year,
better.
maybe?
Those kids are going to be like 30. That's the problem with TV shows these days. They take fucking forever to
We have
release
to
anything.
cover Avatar season 2 because we covered season 1. It just never got
never
released because it was
released
a
it.
nightmare.
Yeah. No,
That was
honestly,
That was like us shouting
just
at each other.
ranting.
you know, this is
2
still
hours.
my qualm with TV. Like, I just watched through all of Gilmore Girls, 24 episodes per season,
Yep.
heavily written, and
Yep.
they release those seasons on fucking time every time. Nowadays, it's like, oh,
It takes
you're
them
lucky
way
to-
too long.
You're lucky to get 8 episodes every 3 years.
Well,
Yeah.
we are
Fucking stupid,
still
dude.
dealing with the repercussions of the writer's strike in 2023 that took most of the production year away, and there's a lot of films that like that's why there was kind of a lighter lineup this year. There's still like echoes of that are kind of being felt through the industry.
Yeah, that's true. There was COVID, and now the writer's strike. So
And
It's a
That makes
keyboard. How hard is it to use? Just type.
okay,
You can write stuff. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that good. I don't care if it's bad.
I don't think that's true.
For TV shows? Yeah, I don't care if it's bad.
Okay.
TV shows can be
I
really
watch
good, though.
awful TV.
yeah, we watched the first 3 episodes of Supernatural yesterday.
Yeah.
Those episodes
Awful
are not,
writing.
not good.
Yeah.
Great way to end your year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think that's pretty much 2024 in review.
Yeah.
How long was this one?
Hour 20-ish.
Okay,
I
about
think.
20 minutes of those was dedicated to Marvel.
I
But that's okay.
like 10 minutes maybe.
At least we didn't go on a rant about Star Wars.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, there was no real
We
like
don't
big
talk
Star
about
Wars thing
because
this
we
year,
don't
though.
talk about Star
Acolyte.
Wars.
Let's talk about Acolyte.
Oh shit! There's also Skeleton Crew. Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
We're-
You know,
we're-
we-
we don't-
let's not
we
talk
don't
about it.
discuss
I
Star
don't want
Wars.
to. I didn't watch any of the Star Wars stuff this year anyway.
Yeah.
so.
Was there
neither
any
did
TV shows that were released this year that you guys either loved or hated or
Released?
I've been watching Dexter Original Sin.
yes, yeah. What do you think?
No.
It's not good, but I'm enjoying it. If you want a real criticism, I will say this. There are 2 things that fundamentally bother me about this show. One, it's absurd that for, I guess, just 15 years, everyone works at Miami Metro, that nobody ever gets a new job, nobody ever moves out of state, and everybody looks, dresses, and acts as they're always going to, I guess. Like,
That's
you're
so
telling
that you
me...
don't confuse the audience.
You're telling me Angel Batista for 15 years never once changes up how he dresses. He's just he the fedora and
he
the
looked like
Hawaiian
a
shirt.
divorced dad in Florida for over 30 years.
like
yes.
but even beyond that, that does bother me. It's got a lot of the prequel problems where it's like, fuck, dude. Like, does everybody have to be in this show?
And every line of dialogue
It's like
is
a reference
reference
to something
the
else.
future.
Yeah, like every line of dialogue is like a
That's because people didn't want a prequel show or a new show. They
Well,
just
we got
wanted,
one.
No, they just wanted more of the same show, right? They just wanted to be able to take the original show and they were like, we want more Dexter.
my
It's
other
these crazy people.
big complaint is I like the younger Dexter actor, but it feels like a huge disservice that Michael C. Hall is still narrating for some reason. Like that literally takes agency away from the actor that you cast as Dexter because he's not really playing Dexter all the way then.
I hate how the opening scene of this show is basically a teaser for
Dexter
another Dexter
Resurrections.
show, and then they're making another Dexter show
Yeah, they're
about
making,
the
they're
Trinity.
making a Trinity show now.
Why do we need so
jeez.
much fucking Dexter? Who likes this stuff that much?
Yeah, I can't believe the Trinity Killer show thing is happening. That's like absurd. Like, what? Like, I'm like the person who should give a shit, and even I'm like, holy fuck, guys, let's slow down. Like, the fact that there are 3 Dexter shows about to come out, or there's one's out and 2 were going to be coming out, is wild to me. It's 2025, and there's going to be 3 Dexter shows in production.
So I watched a show on Amazon that's called Secret Level. It's different like video games and like game adaptations, like kind of like mini episodes. It's like a anthology kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I watched only episode 5, which was Warhammer 40K episode, and it was fucking sick. It was so cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Animation was super badass. The music, the direction of it was really, really cool. And I look forward to watching more of it because there's an episode about like the first episode is a D&D thing, which I was going to get to that one next, and so on. There's even a Pac-Man episode, which is interesting to me, but it's animated. You get kind of a die. It's the guy who did was it Love and Robots and stuff on Netflix.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah,
Love and robots and stuff.
love robots and whatever stuff. Love that show. Yeah. So that was, I don't know. I feel like there's not much like new content that came out this year, but like there's a lot of stuff I wanted to see, like Creature Commandos from DC, and then The Penguin also, which I didn't get to watch, but
I watched the
heard
first
lots of good
episode
things.
of that, and I really liked
The
it.
mother from How I Met Your Mother's in it.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. so yeah. So that interesting. There's a lot of stuff out there. I didn't give a shit about watching Dune Prophecy, and I haven't heard anything from it that makes me seem interested at all, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, and then Fallout Fallout was like last year, wasn't it?
Wasn't that? Yeah, that was 24, right?
Was it?
I think that was around
Oh, yeah.
Christmas time last year.
Awesome. Probably one of my maybe my favorite show from last year, actually, thinking about it. But yeah.
Better than Dexter, Original Sin.
Oh, X-Men 97 also. That show was a shit.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Okay. Anybody else got anything to say?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up here then. Blake, take us out.
It's my pick next week, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, what do I want to watch? I'm assuming I should pick right now.
Yeah. That
I'm
would
stuck
be
between
useful.
two movies, unless you guys want to do a double feature.
Flip a coin.
What are the movies we can?
I want to talk about one of the early Noah Baumbach films, but I'm not sure if I want to talk about Kicking and Screaming or Mr. Jealousy. I'm kind of stuck. I think Kicking and Screaming is probably the better movie, but Mr. Jealousy is more fun. So which one do you want based on that?
I've heard of Kicking and Screaming. I haven't seen it, but I haven't heard of Mr. Jealousy, and so that kind of intrigues me right there.
I've only seen the Will Ferrell kicking and
That's not
screaming.
the same movie.
Oh, never mind. Then I haven't heard of that movie.
So then I want to say kicking and screaming just because I've heard you mention it a lot. So
Yeah.
Jason, Mr.
Sure, yeah.
Jealousy. No, pick one. Mr.
Kicking and
Jealousy.
screaming.
Okay. I'm good with that too.
All right. We will either talk about Kicking and Screaming.
No,
or-
no.
no, it's one.
You got to choose now.
It sounds like you want to pick Mr. Jealousy.
I don't know. I kind of. It's hard. They both sound like
Oh my
intriguing.
God.
What?
Just fucking pick a movie, dude.
Next week we're going to talk about.
I hate you.
He's just doing the Madam Web cutoff
I'm
thing.
thinking. I'm fucking thinking.
We don't have the rights to say it.
Yeah, we don't have the rights to say the name, apparently.
Uncle Ben. Fuck it. We'll talk about Kicking and Screaming. I don't know. Mr. Jealousy's good too.
Dude, you are killing me.
Could we do a double feature? Would that be like?
I'm
They're
not
both
doing
short.
No,
They're
I'm
both
not
really
doing
short.
A double feature.
No, we're doing one movie.
We're doing one movie.
Okay, Kicking and Screaming.
Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Cool. Yay. Okay. Thank you, everybody, and
Happy
have
New
a
Year's.
nice year. Yeah.
We'll see you next week for Kicking and Screaming.
Noah Baumbach, not the Will Ferrell.
Yeah, not the Will
soccer
Ferrell movie. The,
Yeah.
Noah Baumbach.
Okay.
I don't know how to say his name.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year's.
Bye.